Hello everyone, welcome back to the Road Hack Podcast. I'm your host Rushen, and I'm thrilled to have you tuning in today. In this episode, we are going to dive deep into a topic that affects many of us, and that is called toxic positivity. Now, before we discuss this topic, I want to take a moment to share a few things with you right away. I announced on last week's episode that I have a brand new newsletter published. The name is Mindful Doubt and it is a weekly newsletter, which means every week I'll be posting an article on the topics we discussed on the podcast so far. Link will be in the description, so go check it out. If you have a LinkedIn account, sign in and subscribe to the newsletter. I'm super excited for the future of the newsletter, and I really hope you will enjoy my written content as much as you took the time to hit play on this episode out of the many out there. Road Hack Podcast is available on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeart, and all the other major podcast platforms. Search for Road Hack Podcasts on any platform I mentioned and you should be able to easily find the podcast. Hit subscribe so you won't miss out on any future episodes. And now for the main event, toxic positivity. Now, some of you might be wondering what the hell this is. Well, let's break it down. You see, positivity is generally seen as a good thing, right? It's all about having an optimistic outlook, finding the silver lining in tough situations, and spreading good vibes. But when positivity becomes toxic, that is when things take a turn for the worse. This happens when you focus excessively on positivity to the point where it invalidates and dismisses authentic emotions. It is that pressure to always be positive or look on the bright side, regardless of how you truly feel. It's like slapping a smiley face band-aid on a deep wound and pretending that everything is okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Positivity has its place and can be incredibly helpful. But when it becomes a way to avoid or suppress genuine emotions, it can be harmful to our mental and emotional well-being. In today's episode, we are going to explore the ins and outs of toxic positivity. We'll dig into why it's important to understand its impact, not just on ourselves, but also on our relationships with others. And of course, we'll discuss strategies for dealing with toxic positivity in a healthy way. Before we go any further, I would like to ask you two questions. Question number one, have you ever found yourself in a situation where you felt pressured to put on a happy face, even when you were hurting inside? Question number two, have you ever encountered well-meaning individuals who brushed off your struggles with cliché phrases like, just think positive? If any of this resonates with you, you are in the right place. So get comfortable, grab your favorite beverage, and let's dive in. Let's start by understanding the concept of toxic positivity. As I mentioned earlier, positivity itself is not a bad thing. In fact, it can be incredibly helpful in boosting your resilience and navigating challenging times. But toxic positivity takes it to its extreme. Toxic positivity occurs when you are constantly expected to maintain a positive attitude, regardless of what you are going through. It is that pressure to always put on a happy face, pretending that everything is great, even when you are going through the most shittiest time of your life. This can be exhausting because it dismisses how you feel genuinely. When you are constantly told to be positive and look on the bright side, it can make you feel like your struggles and negative thoughts are being either completely ignored or suppressed up to a certain extent. It creates a toxic culture where you feel guilty for not being happy all the time, which is simply unrealistic and unfair to yourself. Toxic positivity can prevent you from addressing and processing your true feelings. It is like sweeping your emotions under the rug and hoping they will magically disappear. But guess what? They don't. They linger beneath the surface, and if you leave them unaddressed, they can manifest within you and you will end up losing your shit. Imagine you have had a shitty day at work, which is something most of us can relate to, am I right? And your boss criticizes your work performance in front of all your colleagues, and you're feeling demoralized, angry, and mad at the fact that you were embarrassed in front of everybody at the office. So you decide to share your frustrations with your best friend at work, hoping for some understanding and support. And your friend listens to your ranting and reply with, "Just think positive and you should be grateful even though you haven't been performing. At least you have a fucking job to complain about." Now, your friend's intention may be good, but this kind of response dismisses your genuine emotions and fails to acknowledge the impact of your shitty experience. It will leave you feeling unheard and unsupported. If you have ever gone through a breakup, you will be heartbroken, and all you need is a safe space to vent and process your pain. But then imagine someone telling you that there are plenty of fish in the sea. I'm glad you broke up with that cunt. You'll find someone better soon. Just stay positive. The sentiment may come from a well-meaning place, but it overlooks the need to acknowledge and heal from the loss you're experiencing. You have probably encountered situations like this. Maybe you have even caught yourself using these common phrases with good intentions, but without fully realizing their impact on a person. It is really important to be aware of these patterns and their consequences. Emotions are a fundamental part of being human. They provide valuable information about your experiences and help you navigate the ups and downs of life. But you try to suppress or ignore your emotions, you are essentially denying yourself the opportunity to process and understand what you are truly feeling. That is why it's crucial to acknowledge and accept your emotions. By doing so, you give yourself permission to experience the full range of human emotions, both positive and negative. It is not about wallowing in negative or dwelling on your hardships, but rather about honoring your feelings and allowing yourself to process them in a healthy way. Now, let me tell you the consequences of suppressing emotions. When you consistently push your emotions aside or pretend they don't exist, they don't magically disappear. Instead, they tend to build up over time like a pressure cooker about to explode. Suppressed emotions can manifest in various ways. They can contribute to heightened stress levels, anxiety, and even physical health issues. Imagine bottling up anger, sadness, and frustration for an extended period. Eventually, it takes a toll on your mental and physical well-being. Toxic positivity often goes hand in hand with emotional suppression. When you are constantly encouraged to just be positive and dismiss your negative emotions, you are essentially suppressing those emotions rather than addressing them. It's like putting a lid on a boiling pot without releasing any steam. It creates a volatile situation. Let's bring this to life with a real-life example. Picture a student who receives a disappointing grade on an important exam. Instead of allowing themselves to feel the disappointment and frustration, they are immediately bombarded with messages like, "Don't worry, just stay positive. You'll do better next time." While the intention might be to offer support, it inadvertently dismisses the student's genuine emotions and discourages them from acknowledging their disappointment. the emotional weight remains unaddressed and can potentially affect their motivation and future performance. By suppressing your emotions, you deny yourself the opportunity for healing, and it hinders growth. It's like putting a band-aid on a deep wound without cleaning it properly. It might temporarily hide the pain, but it does not facilitate true healing. It is important to recognize the link between toxic positivity and emotional suppression to break free from these harmful patterns. Recognizing signs of toxic positivity is the first step in breaking free from its grip. It is essential to be aware of these patterns so that you can address them and foster a healthier mindset. Here are a few signs to watch out for. Number 1. Dismissing negative emotions. When you consistently downplay and dismiss negative emotions, either in yourself or others, it may indicate a tendency towards toxic positivity. Statements like just be positive or dwell on the negative can be red flags. Number 2. Minimizing struggles. If you constantly brush off or belittle the challenges and hardships faced by yourself or others, it might indicate a toxic positivity mindset. It is important to acknowledge and validate the difficulties that people go through instead of trivializing them. And number 3. Avoiding uncomfortable conversations. You see, toxic positivity often steers you away from having honest and vulnerable conversations about difficult topics. You may shy away from discussing your struggles or discourage others from expressing their true feelings, fearing that it might disrupt the facade of positivity. Now let's talk about distinguishing between healthy positivity and toxic positivity. While positivity itself is not the problem, it is crucial to understand the difference between the two. Healthy positivity encourages optimism and resilience while acknowledging the reality of both positive and negative experiences. It allows for genuine emotions and growth. Toxic positivity, on the other hand, dismisses and invalidates genuine emotions, promoting a fake it till you make it mentality. Let's say you're facing a challenging situation at work. With healthy positivity, you might acknowledge the difficulty of the situation while also focusing on the potential solutions and maintaining a hopeful outlook. You allow yourself to feel the frustration or disappointment, but don't let it consume you. In contrast, toxic positivity might manifest as brushing off the challenges entirely, saying things like, just think positive, it will all work out at the end. This dismisses the genuine emotions and fails to address the reality of the situation. It can leave you feeling pressured to mask your true feelings and deny the need for support. Lastly, let me address some common misconceptions and myths related to toxic positivity. One common myth is that positivity alone can solve all problems. While maintaining a positive outlook can certainly be helpful, it is important to acknowledge that it is not a magical cure-all. Genuine growth and healing require a holistic approach that encompasses acknowledging and processing your emotions. Another misconception is that expressing negative emotions is a sign of weakness. This belief fosters the idea that you must constantly present a positive front, even when you are hurting inside. In reality, allowing yourself to express and work through negative emotions is actually a sign of strength and self-awareness. It is crucial to be aware of these patterns and misconceptions so that you can make positive changes and create a more supportive and authentic environment. When you constantly feel the pressure to suppress or deny your true emotions, it can lead to emotional distress and even exacerbate existing mental health challenges. It's like bottling up your feelings and keeping them hidden, which can result in increased stress, anxiety, and a sense of disconnection from your true self. Imagine you're going through a period of grief after losing a loved one. However, due to the toxic positivity culture around you, you are expected to put on a brave face and move on quickly. You might feel compelled to hide your pain, thinking that expressing it would be seen as a sign of weakness. The consequences of suppressing grief and denying yourself the opportunity to mourn can be detrimental to your mental well-being. Unresolved grief may manifest in various ways, such as prolonged sadness, difficulties in forming new connections, or even physical symptoms like fatigue or loss of appetite. When you engage in toxic positivity, it can strain your connections with others. By dismissing or invalidating their genuine emotions, you create an environment where people may feel unheard, misunderstood, or even judged. Imagine a situation where a friend opens up to you about their struggles with anxiety. Instead of empathizing and offering support, you respond with, "Just think positive, man. You aren't a fucking loser. Just hang in there and everything will be fine." While your intention might be to encourage them, this response minimizes their experience and fails to provide the understanding and validation they seek. Over time, it can erode trust and intimacy in the relationship. Toxic positivity can also hinder effective communication within relationships. When you constantly project an image of unwavering positivity, it can discourage honest and open conversations about challenges, conflicts, or even personal growth. It becomes difficult to address underlying issues because you are conditioned to avoid any form of negativity. I have personally experienced the impact of toxic positivity on my mental health and relationships. There have been times when I felt pressured to always appear positive, even when I was struggling inside. It took a toll on my well-being and created barriers to authenticity. So, it is crucial to recognize the effects of toxic positivity and how it can impact your mental health and relationships. By acknowledging and addressing these effects, you certainly can cultivate a healthier and more supportive environment for yourself and those around you. Now let's learn how to encourage healthy expression of emotions. One of the key strategies for dealing with toxic positivity is to encourage the healthy expression of emotions. It is important to create a space where you can acknowledge and process your feelings without judgment. By allowing yourself to experience a wide range of emotions, you foster emotional well-being and genuine self-expression. For example, let's say you've had a rough day at work and you are just simply frustrated. Instead of immediately resorting to toxic positivity, take a moment to sit with your emotions. Allow yourself to vent, journal, or even talk to a trusted person about what you are feeling. This helps you process your emotions in a healthy way rather than suppressing them. Cultivating self-compassion and self-awareness is another powerful strategy. Recognize that it's okay to experience a mix of positive and negative emotions. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, just as you would do to a close friend. Self-awareness plays a crucial role in identifying when toxic positivity is creeping in and adjusting your mindset accordingly. Let's take a look at an example. Imagine you made a mistake at work and feel disappointed in yourself. Instead of berating yourself and adopting a toxic positivity mindset, practice self-compassion. Acknowledge that making mistake is part of being human And remind yourself that growth comes from learning and embracing imperfections. Setting boundaries with toxic positivity is vital for your mental well-being. It involves recognizing when toxic positivity is being imposed on you and asserting your need for authentic emotions and support. It may mean having honest conversations with others, expressing your desire for empathy and understanding rather than dismissive positivity. For instance, if someone consistently responds to your struggles with toxic positivity phrases like, just be grateful for what you have, you can kindly but assertively let them know that you appreciate their intentions but would rather prefer a listening ear and an understanding. Lastly, seeking support from others and professional help when needed is quite essential. Surround yourself with a network of people who understand the importance of genuine emotions and offer a safe space for vulnerability. Reach out to your trusted friends, family, or support groups where you can share your experiences without judgment. Sometimes seeking professional help from therapists or counselors can provide valuable guidance and support in navigating toxic positivity patterns. They can help you develop healthy coping strategies and assist in unraveling deep-rooted beliefs that may contribute to toxic positivity tendencies. I have personally found these strategies to be incredibly helpful in my own journey of dealing with toxic positivity. Embracing the full spectrum of emotions, practicing self-compassion, setting boundaries, and seeking support have been transformative. Just remember that dealing with toxic positivity is an ongoing process. It takes time and self-reflection to unlearn old patterns and embrace a more balanced mindset. But by implementing these strategies, you can create a healthier and more authentic way of navigating life's challenges. Embracing authenticity in your emotions and experiences is a powerful way to counteract toxic positivity. It is essential to honor and accept the full range of your emotions, both positive and negative, without judgment. By embracing authenticity, you allow yourself to be fully present in your experiences and cultivate a deeper sense of self-awareness. Imagine you have achieved a significant milestone in your career. Instead of suppressing any feelings of self-doubt or imposter syndrome that may arise, just fucking acknowledge them. Allow yourself to feel both pride and vulnerability, recognizing that these mixed emotions are part of the human experience. Embracing authenticity means giving yourself permission to feel and explore the complexity of your emotions. Encouraging balanced positivity and maintaining realistic perspectives is another crucial aspect. It is about finding a middle ground between toxic positivity and excessive negativity. Balanced positivity acknowledges the positive aspects of a situation while remaining realistic about challenges and setbacks. For instance, imagine you are starting a new fitness routine. Instead of blindly believing that everything will be easy and perfect, embrace a balanced perspective. Acknowledge that there may be days when you lack motivation to work out. If you accept the realistic ups and downs, you can approach your fitness journey with resilience and a healthier mindset. It is simple as that. Validating and supporting other people's emotions is equally important. It involves creating a safe space where people feel heard, understood, and accepted. When you validate someone's emotions, you acknowledge their experiences without judgment or dismissal. This validation fosters trust, empathy, and stronger connections with others. Consider a scenario where a friend expresses their frustration about a difficult situation they are facing. Instead of responding with dismissive positivity, validate their emotions by saying, I can understand why you feel so frustrated. It is tough to deal with such challenges. This simple act of validation shows that you value their experiences and you are there to support them by creating a space for genuine connection. These are powerful ways to promote a healthier and more supportive mindset. By adopting these practices, you can create an environment where both your own experiences and the experiences of others are acknowledged and respected. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Road Hack Podcast. I hope our exploration of toxic positivity has provided valuable insights and tools for navigating its challenges. Remember to be kind to yourself, embrace your emotions, and foster a balanced and supportive mindset. Share with someone who needs to hear this message. Check out my previous episodes for some real talk just like this one. If you're still listening to this, you are a real one and I truly appreciate you. Stay rooted, stay authentic, and keep hacking away at the barriers that hold you back. I'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, take care of yourself and take care of each other. Peace.